following announcement has been paid for by the Celtic World Order.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome back to Celtic World Order podcast. As always, I'm Steve O'Matt, and you can see, joined by Joe Donnelly again on screen. That's because, well, the news is out. We know what's going to happen. The big game's, less than an hour, just over an hour away. Mate, the nerves are starting to jangle. We heard about all the rumours about the lineups and that there was going to be potential changes. Well, there is. We'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Quite surprising. And, well, we'll see how this one pans out. But before we do that, we quick welcome back to you all. As says, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much. We really, really do appreciate the continued support. If you're new, welcome to yourself. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, the wee bell icon. Costs you absolutely nothing. Keeps the channel going. And if you like what you're seeing here as a big man's doing, get a wee thumbs up, share it with some pals, grow the community. So anyway, mate, without further ado, let's get right in about it. Let's just jump in at the deep end. You, I, and Paddy were on last night. We were talking about it. We knew scales, cheekbone out, Cal McGregor getting nursed, unsure. And then as it picked up, more rumours came in. Austin Trusty's injured. Blah, blah, blah. This morning was a crazy time. We didn't know what we were going to get. And now we know because the lineups for both teams are out. I'm just going to fire them immediately straight up here on the screen and we'll have a wee chat through this. So as you can see, no surprises. We do not have the captain absolutely nowhere to be seen. Not even on the bench. We obviously know that we've got Bernardo as well as being an option that we would have liked to have, who we don't have. And of course, it's the big one there. The elephant in the room is Mike Nawrocki. Makes his way into the centre-back position. Early morning, the rumours were coming out that it was going to be Dane Murray. No disrespect to either player. I think in terms of options for a big crunch game like this, it was like getting asked if you wanted to be stabbed or shot.
I totally agree.
Because you look at the two of them, Dane Murray, of course, was on loan at Queen's Park. 20 appearances for him, 1,800 minutes on the pitch. And at Celtic, 2 appearances, 98 minutes. And of course, that disaster in Villa Park. But then look at Nawrocki. What is Mike Nawrocki? Who is he? 23 minutes he's played this season for Celtic. 23 minutes he's played this season for Celtic. 18 in the Scottish Cup and 5 minutes in the League Cup. Wow, that's a big decision, isn't it, mate?
Aye, if you're Brendan Rodgers, I don't know what he's putting on his cornflakes, but it must be something interesting anyway.
Brendan's full of beak. Early morning.
I don't know what that. Now, listen, he's been in training, obviously. And he's still hopefully kept his fitness level up. Can we expect him to come out and run out the gates in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes? No, absolutely not. But as long as he can hold his own, possibly for the full 90, we might be all right here. You know, but we just need to wait and see how it goes.
The thing is, as I say, is between those two, it's murder. Let's be totally honest here. Let's not kid ourselves. 420, the original member, the OG. Good to see you. Hope you're looking forward to the game, mate. Anybody else has got a good couple of you watching there? What do you think of that lineup? What do you think of Mike Nawrocki coming in completely out the cold? Let's be real here. And also, what do we think of this bench? I'm going to bring this back up just for talking. Now, when we look at this, it's thin. Not kid ourselves on here, right?
I think thin's a compliment to it, really.
Yes, we've seen a wee bit for Yang recently, of course. Ida, regardless of form, we've seen that he's it can be a threat. Kenny, complete unknown, albeit is a good record. And then, really, realistically, Bonner and Turley had be flashing sort of, they look the part, but again, would you want to throw them on or depend on them? Probably not. Now, again, we come back to Rangers and looking at their lineup there, it's a fairly strong lineup for them. But one thing I would say is, again, regardless of what you may think of Rangers, there's no doubt about it. If they need to go to the well and change the game, that bench is significantly stronger than Celtic's, is it not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Igamani and alone has been a great player for them this season.
Yeah. On a dry spell, I think it's about 11 games with nothing, but still a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. The only one that I would say on our bench who has impressed me as of late, compared to how he used to be, certainly as well, is actually Ralston. I think he's got a bit of dependability about him, especially up against the hard ones.
Yeah, I think that's the hard thing for us. See, when you look at the bench, realistically, Ida and Yang are the only two creative ones, in my opinion, that you can go to. If you want to try and get something out of, I think Bonner and Turley, good young players, they're maybe there to come on and help steady the ship. We've seen that they've got a bit about them and they could potentially create threats. But in terms of actual attacking threat, I'm talking about turning the game. If you're maybe looking to chase a goal, it's Yang and Ida. And it's quite concerning just from that respect. Now, listen, we'll see how these things pan out. We're full of the confidence. I still believe that Celtic will win the game. However, it's pretty clear to me that we're going to have to get the job done with that starting 11 and possibly at the earliest juncture in this game, because I don't want tired legs to be kicking on and or injuries, for God, for crying out loud, that could happen, and having to turn to a bench and go, right, what have I got here?
So guys, what do you think? Do you think we play the early long ball then?
I think when we look at the teammate, what I did think was, and I'm glad it didn't happen, was I thought that there was a case to be made for them starting Ida and shifting Maeda out to the left for that defensive cover, and that was me forgetting that Nawrocki was even going to be a thing, by the way. This was me.
Yeah.
Me thinking Nawrocki wasn't even going to be in the equation, that it was maybe going to be shifting Jeffrey Schlupp into a centre back, bringing in Taylor. Now I'm thinking, right, we might want to move Maeda over for the defensive cover. It's clearly that's not happened. I'm happy with that, because I do think if we put our best foot forward and we go with the Jota, Maeda and Kuhn combination, and we try to hit them early, try to get a couple of one or two potentially early goals, that'd be great. 2 goals in the first half would be fantastic, I think, and it would make me feel a wee bit more at ease. I just feel as if the game starts to go deep, yes, Rangers will theoretically, they should be absolutely blitzed after that midweek 120 minutes plus the penalties, but it's funny how these games and the occasion and the away fans and all that kind of stuff will give you that wee adrenaline rush. It'll give you that extra bit in the legs. So as we've seen before, we've played them off the back of European games. We've played them off the back of 120 minutes before. And as you rightly said last night, you wouldn't have thought it even happened. So I just think for us, we need to get the ball down, control the midfield. There's a big ask, but also a big opportunity for Engels, Hatate, and McCowan to really stamp their authority, do what they've been doing when McGregor's been coming off, but from the off. If they can keep it tight in there, I think the balls will come in behind for Maeda. I don't think we'll revert to over the top long balls, but it's imperative that we get on the front foot first, mate, in this one.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. A 2-0 lead at half time is the ideal situation in this. There's no that's very true, very true. As you say, I don't think playing over the long ball is going to help either, but is it what we maybe need to do to get the 2-0 lead nice and early on? Because we're going to have to pull a little bit of something out, I think, as well, just a bit something special. McCowan played brilliant the last time he was out, and I hope that he keeps that up as well, because I've rightly said in the past, or rightly or wrongly, sorry, said in the past, that I wasn't overly sold on McCowan. But he's impressed me the past 2-3 matches out now. So I'm going, right, okay, just keep it up, keep the pressure up, collect it in the mid, and let's get it run to our boys in the top 3.
100%. And for those that are sort of joining us, a few sort of come in, we're obviously talking about the lineups and come back in here. So I mean, if we look at what we're getting out of them here, right? If we look at the way they're setting up, they are going with that 5 at the back. They are packing it out.
Yep.
You're probably going to get Tav, Suter, and Balogun will be your 3 in there, and you'll have Ridvan and Sterling. That is what they're doing. They're playing similar to the way it did against Fenerbahce. They know that Celtic are an attacking side. We're going to have a generally high line, and they're going to try and pop it in behind 2 Dessers, 2 Czerny. That is the game plan. 5 at the back. They're going for their 3 plastic hard men, Barn, Raskin, Diamande in the midfield, and that is going to be scrappy. Now, what I would say is here, despite what they think you're asking, what they think of him as being this dynamic, amazing player, I feel that that's three players that are very samey. And I think that's where Celtic could really pick it up and get a bit of purchase in that midfield, because Engels, as we know, when he's playing that sort of figurehead role, the Cal McGregor role, if you will, you see the undoubted quality there. You've got Hatate, a bit of a maverick. I hate saying that because it can be hot or cold, but again, the expectancy is going to be on him. He's definitely dynamic. He can take the game with a scruff of the neck. He can shrug a guy off, burst forward. But then you've also got a wee bit of a steady Eddie, an all-rounder. And again, something that I don't like, he gets it and all that. But you've got a Celtic fan in there, a guy that will definitely be wanting to seize this opportunity. Literally the stuff he dreams are made of. The big start at Celtic Park with away fans, old school style. It's a great opportunity, and I feel that there's a lot more variation in our three rather than what they've got.
Yeah.
You've got the Sleepy Lion for the Lizard Oz, you've got Diamande, and you've got Raskin. I just feel that they're very, very samey, mate.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And that's where, as I say, Engels and McCowan are gonna hopefully step up there, pick the pocket where it's needed as well, and just make sure that we keep the pressure up and keep that high line, no matter how much they try and long ball it back or get behind.
The big thing is we're going to have to keep our wits about it defensively. We say all the time, no matter what you think of Rangers, they've got threats. The one thing that they do have is they've got decent pace. They've got really decent pace, particularly in Cherny if he's allowed to run at you. We discussed last night, do I think we're going to get that? I think a guy like Schlupp will stand him up. He'll usher him defensively. He's quite good at staying on his feet, and hopefully that'll pay dividends. The big one, as Alan's saying here, is around the Rocky. We can't avoid this point. And it's not the guy, fingers crossed, I hope he goes out there and has an absolute worldie. I hope he does. And as people are saying as well, that's a guy that we paid about $4.5 million for, right? He came off the back.
To get his money worth.
He came off the back of relatively decent stock. And for one reason or other, nobody really knows. We've not actually heard anything. He's been nowhere near it. Absolutely nowhere near it. This is a fantastic opportunity, but it is undoubtedly there's going to be ring rust and then some. What's his fitness going to be like? He's never been blessed with great pace. I think one thing that I would say is, and I don't want to curse it, any time I did see him when he first came in, he looked all right with the ball at his feet. He didn't look flustered and he had a decent range of passing. So that might not be too much, but there's undoubtedly, they're going to look at it. They're going to look at a guy that's played 23 minutes for Celtic this season.
They're going to be over the moon.
I don't have the stats elsewhere, but if you'd be struggling, I reckon, if you say that he was breaking over 100 minutes over the past 2 seasons. That's going to be there to exploit. And the left-hand side has always been an Achilles heel. It's always been something these teams have gone after, but particularly with the likes of, as we know, Cherny, they're going to be licking their lips. So who is it for you that's going to have to step up here? Is it Schlupp? Is it all on Schlupp?
It's very difficult to put it all on Schlupp as well. There's nothing more that Schlupp can produce out of Nawrocki's mistakes, if that makes sense. If he slips up and Schlupp is left to collect the pieces, then his attention's taken off covering Cherny in the first place. So his attention's totally divided between the left and the mid, and it's going to cause chaos. So as you say, we've got to hope that actually on the ball he's not too bad. We have all the momentum, but we have it all to lose as well. So we've got to be real careful here. Careful. They'll be licking their lips, as you say. They'll be over the moon when they seen that team come out. They'll be going, "Oh yes, that is what we're doing."
They will fancy it. And again, 100%. I've got full confidence in this side. Now, that's a good point that Wilson's making. They've got no speed. I wouldn't say they don't have any speed. Dessers is deceptive at getting in behind. We've seen it. He reminds me of Samaras in that respect, where sometimes he looks like it's in slow motion, but he covers the ground quite well. Very Samaras in terms of as well, that sometimes he'll be an absolute world, and other times he'll curveball it out, hit somebody in the cutum that's at the side of the stand, you know what I mean? But at Cherny, is it natural pace? Well, I wouldn't say it's blistering. It's not similar to
No.
what we've got when you see Kuhn at full pelt or Maeda at full pelt or something like that. But he covers the ground well. He's got speed just through footwork. When he's facing up a guy, that's when he can get by. But as we know, it's very one-dimensional, and I don't want to write the guy off because he's undoubtedly their biggest threat. If you're placing bets on who's going to score for Rangers, you're probably looking at him, or you're looking at Tav for free kicks and stuff like that. That's the reality of where they're at. But we need to be all about it. The midfield is going to be huge. You spoke about this. Cal McGregor isn't known for a guy that snaps into tackles, but he's good at coordinating and doing it. Looking at their midfield, as I say, it's 3 guys that are very samey, 3 guys that think they're aggressive, and undoubtedly with this Baza and the Brogue brothers, they'll buy into what they're selling. See all this gunning, hit them early and all that.
I think it's going to be
stuff.
card mental as well. I think there's going to be multiple bookings.
Are you confident though in the 3 that we've got to? I think we can outplay them. Make no doubt about it. We'll outplay them. And for us, I'd always say it's about passing the ball around them, where you negate this need to snap into challenges. Play your game, and I think we've got the making of those 3 there. However, if it does turn physical, are you confident in the 3 that we've got in the midfield to see that side of the bargain out?
I'm confident in the physicality of Hatate, definitely. Engels tends to go down a little bit easier, but at the same time gets us those free kicks as well where we need them. Not that he's, doing any of that, like the other side. But I feel that he's very good at placing his body in the right place where he knows that he's going to get that wee knock or something like that along the lines, and he gets knocked down, boom, free kick, that's us, we can take advantage of it. Nice fast ball, straight up, get it to Maeda, get it to Kuhn, get it to Jota, and we can finish it off. They 3 guys have got the pace, the physicality, and we know Jota's came back absolutely singing now.
No, but I'm looking forward to it. I really are. It's very, very interesting. I think this is a game that is full of opportunity. Now, would I like to be saying that about a game like this? Of course I wouldn't. I'd rather it was just, we're going to absolutely blitz them. They're going to get battered. Don't worry about it. It'll take care of itself. It's not the case. Of course, we get excited about James Forrest.
I know.
Nowhere to be seen. It would have been nice, again, I come back to this, having an attacking option, even if it was 60% ready James Forrest. I'd rather have that sitting there to chuck on the park, 20 minutes to go if you need something, than not. So the one thing that's for sure is the bench gives me the absolute dry bulk. I'm not going to pull my punches. I'm not going to kid on. I'm looking at that bench and I'm just saying, right, it's up to us to really do something. If I look at it, I think you're right, Ralston, if you need to put a bit of bite in there. If Celtic maybe want to go for an overload off the sort of defensive side of things, if that's what we need to do, I think Johnson's far more capable of coming into a midfield type role if need be. Bring in Ralston there for a wee bit of snap. I'm more impressed by Bonner than I'm Turley, but again, what's happening there? The joker in the pack could be Johnny Kenny. Now, we're sitting here and we're saying, we're sort of maybe diminishing his achievements, if you want to call it that. Great record at Shamrock Rovers. Fantastic in the Conference League. I think we would have seen maybe a wee bit more of him. I was a bit disappointed in the manager in terms of that, but at the end of the day, he's the guy that sees him training every day. But this again could be one of these opportunity knock situations, similar to what we've got with the midfield there, because Cal McGregor's out. It's a great opportunity for 3 guys to really stamp their authority and say, look, don't worry, if they're missing, we've got this, we take care of it. But equally as well, it could be a roll of the dice. Do you know what? Fire on Kenny if you need it. And you maybe get something out of him. So it's quite intriguing, a wee bit exciting to think of what could happen in a coming of age performance for certain players. But there's no doubt about it. I think form, quality, management, home crowd, the cards are in our favour. However, if the game starts to get a bit sort of sticky, I definitely feel they've got more options.
They've got way more options and much better options in general. But yeah, as we say, if we can get out there and get the early lead, then we don't have to dip into that pool as much, like you say, if we need to bring out Ralston, great, I'm all for it. Yang and Ida, we know will likely come on anyway at 60 to 70 minutes, somewhere around there. And if we've already got that early lead, we know that they're great at finishing off the last couple of goals as well. We always talk about that. So, yeah, I think with the momentum behind them, we should be absolutely fine. I'm really excited for it. I'm over the moon. It's on Sky. I'm just I'm lining up everything down here. I've got a row of beer sitting.
Well, I've
Looking
started the
forward
day
to
the
it.
best possible way. Dropped the kids off at the club, and I had my traditional pre-derby breakfast. So I had a ribeye
Yes,
steak, had a couple of eggs, and I had a beer, and now I'm having a wee Guinness, because why not? St. Patrick's Day weekend and all that kind of thing there.
absolutely.
So
Aye.
I like the thinking here. I
I
love
was
that
in it.
confidence.
That's it. I love it. Love it. I started a little bit earlier this morning anyway. I was up and watching the Formula One, so that was my thing this morning. So I'm only on the water now, but the beer's coming. It's chilling in the
Absolutely.
fridge.
I love it. Love it. But just to we don't want to keep everybody to so we sort of early preview and reaction to sort of
Yes.
teams there. We see the way that Rangers are going to be setting out. It's defensive heavy.
Yeah.
Celtic have always found it quite tricky, let's be honest, in the league, where we've had teams that have banked in, that have set up to frustrate us. Now, the last time out, I says Rangers are going to have to do something different to beat Celtic. They're going to have to try and play football. Now, regardless of what you think of Celtic and the reasons and the whys and all that performance, there was no doubt about it. Rangers did do something different that game under come on. They did try to play a bit of football, and it paid dividends for them. Get a 3-0. Yes, we were absolutely shocker-rooney, but they still done it. I feel that they're almost going back the way here, where they are going for that. Remember when we used to have games and they would pack out a midfield, it'd be like Lundstrom, Diamande, Raskin, and that was the thing, or Lawrence, and it was just pack out the midfield, bring in Dijon Sterling, big strong guy, and try and staunch your way to it, try and just chop
Well, the
and
thing is,
scratch.
they pack out the box absolutely fine. I'm fine with that for loads of different reasons, but the main one being they play us on all the time.
So to jump in, I believe this is quite interesting. Confirm if you know. Is Trusty's good lady giving birth to that child that they announced, or is it something around that as to why the big man's out? Because I don't think it's certain injury. It seems as if it's potentially family based. And how utterly selfish of you for not giving us an option. How dare you either be no well or have a vein?
It's just women, mate. That's just women all over. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Jokes aside, you'll get cancelled with that kind of part.
Exactly. That's a joke.
Not just that. I know there'll be a woman off camera ready to give you a good old clip in that ear whenever that happens.
Certainly is.
The opinions are coming in here. I think, and this is true. They're playing this heavy 4, 5, 1, 2, 8, 4. But no, they're going to say, and I just think that's interesting because for one, we've often at times struggled with breaking that down. It's sometimes when you get a team that have been sticky, we can always play our way out of it, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at the way that Celtic have been playing, particularly Maeda through the month and the middle, and I think we'll get those opportunities, make no doubt about it. But that was exploiting gaps in behind. That's going to be quite hard to come by when you get a stuffy bank of 5 sitting there with three guys playing at centre half, and then you've obviously got the 3 kid-on hard men that are going to drop deep and try and protect that central 3. So we're going to have to mix things up a wee bit here as well, mate, I think.
Absolutely, aye. As I say, the benefit from it is that 2 or 3 defenders hitting onto Maeda, the chances of him being taken down in the box, being played on a lot easier as well when we know he's got the pace to sneak through, even up against really tough defences. So I'm actually really fine with it because, as I say, I think it's going to give us different opportunities, not all the same that we usually see where it's chipped over the keeper or something daft like that. That's just amazing and a worldie. But if it lets us have those little sneaky ones through the middle to Maeda and just pop it in because he's been played on by 2 defenders because they've let it slip.
I think there's no doubt about it. I asked you last night and I says, how high does Celtic go with their line defensively? I think that's going to be completely rethought. I think we'll always have an attacking line, but I would like to see our back four be just that wee bit slightly further back, because particularly as it says here, we've got Naroki coming out of cold storage. It's a big ask in the same way that it was a big ask if it was going to be Dane Murray. That's undoubtedly going to be absolutely huge. The confirmation come through. Apparently, Trusty's good ladies went into labour. So, all the best to him and a fantastic day. Just unfortunate for us that it happened on this day. But there you go. Life finds a way and all that. It doesn't care.
Sorry, did you say the wife finds a way there?
No, life will find a way. It means I'm coming out. I don't care what day it is. Get me out here.
Oh God, I know.
But no, I'm as I said, looking forward.
Well, let's hope we put on a good win then for the way to come into the world.
Absolutely, that's what we're looking for. But the thing is, just looking at it, how are we going to set up? Is it going to be all action for the off, mate? Do we need to catch them nice and quick for the kickoff?
Absolutely, the pressure needs to be on for the first. I'd say if we're goalless in the first 20, I'll be slightly disappointed. I won't be worried per se, but I'll be disappointed because I think that's exactly what we need, and it's totally possible, completely possible. We've got the players, we've got the depth in our squad anyway. So absolutely, I think it's a huge possibility, and it's exactly what we need to do.
I totally agree with us what HTC's put up here. When we look at it, I know it's quite deep into season, injuries will happen and things like that, but undoubtedly, I think if ever there was going to be a reason or an example where Brendan Rodgers can say, look, the bench is rough. We need more quality. We need players in the door. It's now, yes, I know Cal McGregor injured, no ideal. Trusty out for obviously family issues. Bernardo still out and Forrest. So there's at least 4 guys that would give you options. But even so, in my opinion, if you had those guys in and around the squad, it's still not bowling you over. You're still not looking at it and going, that's amazing, that's brilliant. I'd rather be at the stage where you've got quality players who don't make the squad because your options are such where you've got that many. I definitely think that we definitely need to see that. We need to see that because this game here is going to be about, for me, realistic. I think win it no matter what, but win it in the first half. Win it in the first half with your best 11 on the pitch, and hopefully that can knock the stuffing out of them, demoralise them a wee bit. What will be interesting as well is, and this could also play in our favour, is we know Bazza's no scared to make the big decisions. So if they go into half time and they're getting beat, let's just say 1-0, maybe even ideally 2-0, chances are he's going to roll that dice nice and early at half time because that's his thing. He'll do that. And in some ways that negates the threat of their players or the impact to their subs coming on. Because there's nothing worse if we look at that squad and we say, right, we're going to the 70, 75 minutes, depending on where the game's in the balance. Realistically, you're looking at Ida, you're looking at Yang, maybe Ralston. The rest are question marks, maybe needs must situation. But with them, they've got decent options. Igaman, what's his name? Brajami, Hadji, whatever you think of these guys, they're guys that if you chuck them on with 20 minutes, they're going to be fresh, they're going to be making an impact, they're going to have plenty of running in them as well. But if their hand's forced and he does what he does, makes the big decisions and fires them on early, then their legs will start to tire, and that'll work in our favour potentially.
So that's again why it's so important for us to get a nice early lead, as you say. Absolutely.
Well, we'll see what happens. There we go. Naroki will have been absolutely choking apparently to get a game. And I
hope so.
I hope so. There's a lot. Alan's saying he's going for first goal. That's a dark horse bet, but he gets into good positions. And
he does. Course,
Ian Roy, I love the confidence. A lot of confidence. 3-0 he's saying here. Just want to put it to you, mate, before we finish up. What is, with the way we know Rangers are probably going to set up, which is going to be the deep blocks, trying to hit in the counter. Does that negate our normal game plan, which would be we're faster, we'll get in behind, poke it through, Maeda, utilise his speed? Are we maybe going to have to mix it up a wee bit? Is potentially our best opportunities going to come for maybe taking a pop at goal for the edge of the box rather than doing what we normally do, trying to get in behind, maybe walk it into the net? If we're going to have to look at that.
The walking it into the net in general tends to bug me quite a lot. Ida's always looking for it walked into the net. And I would say that it's so difficult to say, but every game needs a bit of give and take anyway. So it needs to be mixed up as you're playing, and you don't know how they're going to be. And as you say, they don't know if they're going to be tired, you don't know if they're going to be right up for it, screaming matches, whatever. They could be arguing against the manager, going, "What we doing playing this formation?" We don't know, so you're going to have to adjust as you're going in any case. But the whole walking it into the net thing, yeah, I don't like it in the first instance. I get that it's increasing the chances, but it's the 10, 15 yards out that number one create the worldies and number two shock the system as well.
Yeah.
See if we can get Engels or something like that on the edge of the box to fire one in, just for the absolute sake of it, or at least give it a try. And that is what Schlupp was good at as well. We know he's not afraid now to take a good shot. So one of those
reminds me a wee
opportunities
bit. It reminds me a wee bit of Kieran Tierney in that respect. He's good at getting forward.
Yep.
He bursts in behind, and he always finds himself at a decent shot to get one off at the angle. I want to see him taking advantage of that a wee bit more.
Absolutely.
I think going to be interesting, going to be rough, as we say. We'll no doubt cover this. We might do a wee half time. We'll see how we feel about that. Maybe jump into a wee half time. So get your notifications on. Join us half time. We'll talk about it, how things are panning out. But before we go, just put it to you, given everything that's happened, the shock changes, the light-looking bench. Where's Joe Donnelly's confidence levels at? If you gave me a percentage level of confidence, what are you at right now, mate? Talk to me.
Percentage level, I'm still pretty high. I'd say I'm still above 90%. In all honesty, I
Love
really
that.
am. That will win at the very least. Now, whether it's going to be a phenomenal 4-0 spanking or something like that, I would love it. Absolutely, we all would. We'd be on it all night as well. It'd be great. But at the same time, I'll take the 1-0 scrappy one if that's what's coming, because I still believe that the boys can do it. Definitely.
Right, give me a bet. Hit me with your bets before we go off. Get your scores in. We'll pop them up. Hit me with your bets. What's Joe Donnelly's bet? Give me a good bet. Somebody give me a good bet, and I'll go and put it on. There you go. Look at that.
Well,
bet responsibly, of course.
Yes,
don't get sucked in and chase those losses. But
my bets, I've put 2 on, right, and I've put on Maeda first goal.
Yep.
And 3-1. That's what I truly believe it will be.
3-1 was always my go-to score. See, all the time, absolutely. I always went 3-1.
Yep. And
I like that.
My hopeful one is Kuhn anytime. So that's a bit more realistic. Kuhn anytime and 4-0.
Aye. Well, hopefully it gets that way. I'm telling you, I'll take a 1-0 in off the back of somebody's arse. I do not care. But see, if I'm being honest with you, I said it last night and I stand by it. Even with the changes, the forced changes, the rough and sort of sketchy looking bends, limited options, I don't care. Even with Naroki in there, that starting 11, the home crowd, the forum, where they are and sort of, the football and totem pole is the Scottish League at this moment in time. I just feel that it would be frankly embarrassing if Celtic can't beat this Rangers team.
Yeah.
In disarray, all right, Europe's aside, but domestically, in disarray, off the pitch, uncertainty, albeit the pending amazing takeovers apparently going to happen, probably will, but still, peculiar behaviour off there. A makeshift bench of failed managers, an absolute nobody, and pundits. It would be a sad indictment on Celtic if we can't take care of this Rangers team. That's all I'm saying, and I stick by that. Record this, chop it up, whatever. Don't care. It's just based on the facts, mate. It would be an absolute shocker if Celtic can't take care of us. Confident, get it done though. I want to win this game. We need to win it. We need to put the foot down early. Take care of it in the first half. Don't let this game get dragged out, because, as we know, they will have more options, and that is a risk to ourselves. But also, wee mistakes and all that with us VAR. Don't want any sideshows. I don't want any excuses. No. I want it to be do our job, and everything else should take care of itself, mate. That's where I'm at with this.
And that's where I was coming from yesterday as well, when I was saying I want it to just be a nice, clean game. I don't want any of this VAR crap or that should have been a penalty, that should have been this, that should have been that. Enough is enough. Let's just get the job done, get it done early, and that's it.
Aye, absolutely. Well, we'll see how it pans out. We are coming up half an hour before the kickoff. Massive game. Important that we get the foot down, take care of it early, get ourselves comfortable in the match, negate the risks. Take care of Czerny, take care of Dessers, take care of Tav for the crosses. That's it. The midfield's going to be huge. I'm looking forward to it. I think that there's a great opportunity for the three in midfield to really step up. And as we say, no disrespect to Cal McGregor, I would rather have him there than not. But when he'd been coming off, we'd seen a different style of Celtic. We looked a wee bit more dynamic. We looked a bit more free, quicker, faster moving. It's important that we do that. They're playing against three guys that are going to want to try and smother them. They're going to want to try and kick them. They're going to try and do it aggressively. Some of them still got a decent range of pass in it there and can be threatening. But I think from a footballing aspect, we've got the better players. We need to take care of it. And that's it. So, exactly. And there you go. That's comparing Celtic and Rangers and comparing travelling on public transport to flying a private jet, says Jamie. Absolutely. and that's the thing. Yeah. The script's been written out. It's important for us to see that through. Because the script last time was that we were going to dominate them, put them back in their box and kill off their hopes. That's pretty much what the script today is. That's what the expectancy is. It's important for us to follow that one up. So anyway, whatever you are doing, whether you're watching the game, take care of yourself, enjoy it. We'll do a wee pop-up show at half-time. We'll see how things are going. Hopefully, we're sitting here with smiles on our faces. Yeah. Uncertainty is always in these games, but I'm really, really looking forward to it. So we'll catch you up then. Take care of yourselves, and hail, hail. See you all later. Enjoy the game.